Thank you so much. Thank you to the 100 Black women of Tennessee. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Well, I can't top anything that anyone has said. I will also echo what Mary said about her play. It is fabulous. And I appreciate what Gregory Cook has said. As a matter of fact, Gregory, when you mentioned the lady's name, and I told you my aunt was in it, her name was Ruth Ellen Willis. And I wasn't sure if that's what you said or you said another name, nevertheless. And she was from Philadelphia. So, what I'm sharing with you today is that it has not been an easy route at all. And my first statement up there, it says stories we share with one another are sources of connection, understanding, inspiration, and influence that reach beyond the individual. That is the motivation because we tell stories every single day. And I could go to a number of people, and each person has a story, whether or not it hits the television screen or not. There's something that they're saying that is interesting. Well, this has not been an easy time. As Gregory mentioned, this was in the 40s when this started. And so I'm kind of giving you a timeline of how long it's taken to get the recognition. So they started in the 40s. 73 years later, in 2018, the Senate passed the resolution by Senator Jerry Moran. At that same time, a monument was dedicated in Fort Leavenworth, and that was originated by a descendant, Carlton Philpott. And he worked with several people in getting that done. The following year, in 2019, the documentary by Lincoln Penny Films by James Thayers and Edna Cummings was very important because that was the real footage. And that's when we began to see, oh my gosh, who are these women? Because it's all in their voices. They're talking about the situations uh, that they entailed. And many of the things were very severe, the way they were treated. And then in 2019, there were only 6 remaining veterans. And so the descendants really began to shower them. If they had a birthday, we went to see them. We sent 100 cards because of the age of the people. And it was just a time to reflect. In 2021, we're finally getting some progress. That is when President Biden signed the Congressional Gold Medal Act of 2021. Then in 2022, there was a ceremony in Arlington, Virginia, celebrating the Congressional Gold Medal. We still didn't have it, but it was the ceremony. A scholarship was established at that time. The name at Fort Lee was changed to Greg Adams, which was wonderful, getting away from the Confederacy. We were excited to be there. Also attended the Women's Museum down there, which is about women in the military back to the 1800s. So it's not just about the 6888, it's all women. And then they did the Congressional Gold Medal mock-up that year too, in 2022. Then the discussion about a postal stamp of Charity Adams began to be in discussion. Fast forward to 2023. The proclamation honoring 6888 is beginning to be done in many of the states. And in that proclamation, the women that enlisted from that state are listed as well. And then James Thayers, who wrote the first documentary, he began to enter many film festivals, and they won many awards, which also helped to spearhead this. And then 2024, we have been talking about the movie coming out with Tyler Perry for a year. Almost felt like I shouldn't say it because was it ever going to come out? And it did. And one thing that we were so pleased about, the movie was about, I can't remember her last name all of a sudden, but her first name was Lena. And he went to see her and he showed her the film on his laptop and she gave thumbs up. None of us had seen it, but the fact that an actual veteran said thumbs up, we were pleased and excited to see it as well. And then, of course, as Mary said, that really gave us some momentum. And then 2025, our administration changed, as you know, and kind of took some steps backwards. Uh, when I talked about the fort, Greg Adams, well, the administration decided that they should not have it. That's DEI. So it went back to Fort Lee. Very disappointing. We wrote letters, but the decision, I'm sure, had already been made. But then there's a downside and then there's an upside because now we're going to actually receive the Congressional Gold Medal. And that was a beautiful time. And now, if you'll go to the other slides, I'll share that with you. It's another power. Yes. Okay. This is from April 28th to April 30th. And although it's only for a couple of days, there was a lot of preparation in advance. That preparation wasn't what I was doing, it was really what Edna Cummings was doing to ensure that this event would be one that would be remembered and a good reflection of what these women had done. Next one. This was the hospitality hour, April 28th, where there was about 133 descendants here. Now, we have talked on the phone, some of us have seen each other, but this was the first time it was face to face. And some of us had our mother's pictures or grandmothers, whomever they were, so that there would be some kind of identification. The gentleman that you see to the right sitting, that's Charity Adams' son. Next slide. This was the day of reckoning. This was the gold medal ceremony. The gentleman to the right is Jerry Moran, and he is the one who actually spearheaded all of this in order to get the representatives in the Senate to vote. It was turned down initially. They didn't have enough votes. It went back, and then it was approved. But this was a joyous occasion, even though some of the people on the platform, we did not feel they were for it, but I will say it never showed, never showed. And it was a beautiful event. Next picture. This is just another picture of the same ceremony. You can see that, we all have our cameras going. It was just a delightful time. I mentioned to you Charity Adams' son, Stanley. His sister is right beside him in the checkered suit. Next slide. Well, I have never really received an invitation from Congress, so of course I kept it. But that's the actual invitation that we received. To the right of it was the invitation to go into the events, and that in the middle is the actual Congressional Gold Medal. Next slide. This was at the Library of Congress. This is where they held the reception. And everything was done so well. We all felt just overtaken with joy for our mothers or grandmothers or aunts. You know, we wish they could have been there, but we were glad that we're the next generation to receive this kind of recognition. And also, if you haven't been to the Library of Congress, it is worth seeing. It is one of the most beautiful structures I've ever seen. Next slide. They did have a cake for us at the reception, and the cake looks rather small, but it's not because it served all of us that were there, and there was probably upwards of 300 to 400 people there. Next slide. Well, you know what the motto was, and you know about the mail. So this was a real treat that we each got a stamped envelope with the motto on it that we could keep or we could send a letter if we wanted, but most of us kept it. And to the right, that was the artist that actually did the drawing of it. Next slide. This was our last luncheon at the Hyatt. Is another recognition, and that is a descendant. Her grandmother was one of the 6888. And the last slide is my family. I was so glad that they could attend and be part of this celebration because most of us, the descendants, were all about the same age, and we've got to pass this down. We're not going to be here another 30, 40 years. And so most of us did bring our family members because they're the ones who will take this over and hopefully continue to spread the news about who these women are, what they sacrificed. And someone said, I think it was Mary, about why they did it. But the main reason why most of them did go overseas is because they actually loved their country. It's just unfortunate that their country did not love them back, but they did. And they had hoped when they came back, just as the men did, that it would be different, that you would see what I was able to, uh, my worth, so to speak. But of course, I see Gregory shaking his head. No, it was just back to whatever you did before, you do it again. So that is the story of the 6888. And I will keep telling the story. And I haven't found an audience yet that has not been interested in the story. Thank you.